Hello, and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. So we are currently tracking here on the Bitcoin chart this local correction that's still unfolding, that's actually unchanged. As you can see here, the idea is still that we are in an ABC structure to the downside, and well, have a good chance actually eventually to testing really the lower boundary line of this support zone, right? Now, please note that in previous updates, I explained to you that over the weekend we might see a bounce. That bounce could first of all test this resistance area between $109,670 and $112,170. So this would be the first resistance zone to watch. Yeah. So haven't really seen much evidence that this is starting yet. Maybe, yeah, I mean, slight upside for the day. Not much surprise given that, yeah, that was kind of on the agenda for the weekend, right? This wave 2, which should, by the way, unfold as an ABC structure. I mean, it would likely be something like A, B, C, and then the A wave might be unfolding right now. Please note that we've also reached structural support levels here. So this area here around 107,400 was highlighted before as structural support. That's our first, you could say, structural support line in this dip, right? It's where we have these previous swing lows from July. The next one that matters is this one at $105,250. That's the swing low from Wednesday, the 2nd of July. And please note there is also a very, very important Fibonacci support level. And in particular, it is the 38.2 retracement level, right? This is a level that matters because as long as this level is holding, the overall, yeah, let's say the overall, well, not really as long as it's holding, because the 38.2 retracement level is an ideal target for a fourth wave pullback, right? But actually, as I explained in the last few videos, the structure of the pullback, I think, aligns more with a deeper pullback. I mean, we could go a little lower, right? We don't have oversold indicators. So, I mean, on the 4-hour chart, maybe a little bit. Yeah, not even. We're not even at 30, okay? The 1-hour chart was a bit oversold, which is why I told you yesterday we might see a bit of a bounce. We do see a bounce today, but it's weak. But yeah, you know, if the 1 hour is oversold, but the daily isn't and the 4-hour isn't, pressure could still, there's still more room to the downside. That's what I want to say. But there is some structural and Fibonacci support, which is quite important in this area, you know, between 105,250 and 107,400. So please consider that. We see that upside I wanted to see, but it's weak so far. And I think the bounce could be kind of a little bit weaker maybe than this circle wave 2 bounce. In addition to that, if we go to the daily chart for Bitcoin, what we can also do is just to double check and confirm again. By the way, I shared with you guys in the previous video the roadmap here. I'm not going to do that again. What I wanted to do though is add the VRVP indicator, yeah, volume profile, just to repeat what I said I think a few days ago. If we add that to the chart, you see in this visible range that exactly where we have these previous swing lows, also we have some spikes on the VRVP indicator. What does that mean? In translation, it means that this is an area where there could be additional support. Now you see this one really spikes around this swing low that we're now testing. These are typically areas where prices can slow down. In this decline from the all-time high, well, once it broke below this area around 118K, there wasn't really much there. You see that insufficiency here. Price moved fairly quickly through that zone, but now we've reached support. That kind of aligns with this area I just mentioned. So this is a key spot, but based on what I see in the charts, at the moment there's no evidence that a meaningful low has been established. So I am watching for a bounce though, but watching for a bounce doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be a full-scale upside reversal. For now, I treat it as a corrective bounce that's unfolding. I mean, at the moment, you see that the momentum is also quite weak, so it kind of supports that idea. I think we have to be a bit patient over the weekend. I don't expect too much movement. Sorry about that. I always feel bad when the charts are not changing. but actually that's a good thing because it stays consistent with previous updates. That's what we are currently watching for on the Bitcoin chart, which means slight upside expected over the weekend. I think can watch for that. If we break through this zone around 107,400, pay attention to 106,500 and $105,250. That's the update on Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. I also invite you to join us on X for additional updates, chart updates, discussions, news, and much more. You'll find the link in the description and also in the comment section. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.